Andalusia is one of Spain's most extraordinary destinations, and we travel to it whenever we get the chance. In today's video, we are going to introduce you to an itinerary that travels through the region by train, taking you to unforgettable places. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hello, I'm Tony Galvez, and this is Road Trip Spain and Portugal, where we help you plan the perfect trip with practical information, insider tips, and our very own travel guides. We know that putting together an itinerary is a complex task. You have a limited number of days and you want to make the most of them. Today we want to offer you a leisurely itinerary designed especially for those who don't want to rent a car and want to do it all by train. 12 days touring Andalusia by train. Before we start with the day-to-day itinerary, what would be the best time of the year to complete it? We will never tire of warning about the heat in Andalusia during the Spanish summer months, especially in July and August. The extreme heat with temperatures that can exceed 45 degrees Celsius in cities such as Seville and Cordoba can turn any tourist activity into untold suffering. Even Andalusians cannot stand the heat, which is why summer is low season in inland cities. Don't fall for siren songs of more affordable hotel rates at this time of the year. Hotels are cheaper because the occupancy rate is lower and only uninformed tourists visit the Andalusian interior during the summer. We see no particular reason against completing the itinerary in winter, other than the fact that days are quite short as night falls much earlier. Two perfect times to complete the itinerary would be between May and June and between September and October. The trip starts off in the city of Cadiz. You can get to Cadiz on a direct Alvia train operated by Renfe, which departs from Madrid's Atocha station and arrives in Cadiz 4.5 hours later. Or you can arrive on a middle distance train, MD, also operated by Renfe, which departs from Sevilla Santa Justa station and arrives in Cadiz 1 hour and 40 minutes later. Cadiz train station is next to the historic center. If you are staying near the station, you can walk to your accommodation. If not, get a taxi. The first afternoon and the following day of the itinerary will be dedicated to Cadiz, a city that, as you probably already know, is one of our passions in Spain. In Cadiz, you cannot miss its magnificent Baroque and neoclassical cathedral, with views of the city from the top of one of its towers. These views are only surpassed by the Tavira Tower, another must-see in Cadiz. Make sure you visit the Mercado de Abastos de Cadiz, the city's central market, a true local market, a delight for the senses. You shouldn't miss the beautiful Parque Genovés with its collection of botanical species. Step inside Santa Catalina Castle to see how Cadiz protected itself from attack coming from the sea. And in good weather, enjoy the hustle and bustle of La Caleta, Cadiz's best loved beach. At the archaeological site of Gadir, you will travel back to the founding of the city more than 3,000 years ago. And in the Roman theatre, you will travel through another important period in the city's history. We have given you details about those places and many more in the video on the channel where we explain what to do in Cadiz and what delicacies from the extraordinary local gastronomy you should not miss. the end of the second day, you will leave for Seville on a middle distance train operated by Renfe, which in just over an hour and a half will drop you off first at San Bernardo station and then at Santa Justa station, both in Seville. Both San Bernardo and Santa Justa stations are outside the historic center, so the choice of one or the other will depend on the location of your accommodation. We are going to dedicate nights 2, 3 and 4 of the itinerary to Seville. You can imagine that the number of fascinating places to visit in Seville is endless. No wonder Seville is one of the most visited cities in Spain. Starting with the majestic Gothic cathedral and its emblematic tower, the Giralda. Moving on to the incredible Real Alcázar, you will fall in love with both the palaces and its magnificent gardens. You will immerse yourself in the history of Spain as you wander through the corridors of the Archivo de Indias, the Archive of the Indies. And you will marvel at the unique architecture of the Plaza de España in María Luisa Park. Don't miss the city's most traditional neighborhoods, such as Santa Cruz and its narrow streets, and on the other side of the Guadalquivir River, the Triana district. Climb to the top of the unique Las Setas by day and by night to enjoy two very different views of the city. To make sure you make the most of Seville, we have recorded a video in which we present the must-see places in the city in more detail, with a ride to a good flamenco show and lots of delicious food. On the morning of your last day in Seville, you will board a high-speed train to Cordoba. There are many services throughout the day operated by different companies, departing from Seville Santa Justa station and dropping you off at Cordoba train station in just over 40 minutes. The station is outside the historic center, so you can walk or take a taxi to your accommodation. We will dedicate nights 5 and 6 of the itinerary to the magical Cordoba. The beauty of the Mosque Cathedral of Cordoba is hard to describe. It is one of those places that it is not easy to forget. The visit to the mosque should be completed with a climb to the bell tower with magnificent views of Cordoba. The Alcázar de los Reyes Cristianos, the fortress of the Christian kings, both the fortress and its beautiful gardens are another must-see in Cordoba. Crossing the Guadalquivir River over the Roman bridge is a must at any time of the day or night. Especially, but not exclusively, in spring, the San Basilio quarter, where the tradition of the Cordoban patios is kept alive, is simply marvelous. Another very typical tradition in Cordoba is that of the Andalusian horses. At the Caballerizas Reales, the royal stables, you can admire them and enjoy a beautiful horse show. We talk about these and many other wonderful places in our video about Cordoba and the delicious gastronomy of the city. On the morning of your last day in Cordoba, hop back on a high-speed train to travel to Malaga. There are many services throughout the day operated by different companies, which from Cordoba station will drop you off at Malaga María Zambrano train station in about an hour. The station is not far from the historic center, so you can walk or take a taxi to your accommodation. We dedicate nights 7 and 8 of the itinerary to Malaga. There is no better place to start your stay in the city than from the heights of Gibraltar Castle, with incredible views over Malaga. A short walk down from the castle, the Muslim fortress of the Alcazaba is also another must-see in the city. Traveling back in time, at the foot of the Alcazaba is the small Roman theatre. Malaga's Renaissance Cathedral in the center of the city is a striking presence in the city, with just the one tower. For those who like to visit local markets, the Mercado de las Atarazanas is spectacular with many regional delicacies. Museum lovers are in luck in Malaga with its Pompidou, Thyssen and Picasso museums, among others. Finally, Malaga allows you to enjoy the sea all year round, either at the popular Muelle 1 area or on its beaches. To all these places and more, we have dedicated a video where we explain what to do in Malaga. On the morning of your last day in Malaga, you will travel to Malaga Maria Zambrano station to board an Avant train operated by Renfe, which will drop you off in Granada an hour and 15 minutes later. The station is a bit far from the center, so you will need to take a bus or taxi to get to your accommodation. We will dedicate nights 9, 10 and 11 of the itinerary to Granada. Ending any itinerary in Granada is a real treat. You should dedicate a whole day to exploring the Albaicin neighborhood, declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. And if you can end the day watching the sunset from the Mirador de San Nicolás viewpoint, the day could not be more perfect. It is also worth exploring the historic center of Granada around its cathedral, with places such as the Royal Chapel and the Madraza Palace. But of course, the highlight of a visit to Granada, or indeed of a visit to Spain, is a visit to the incomparable Alhambra complex, one of the most incredible monuments in the country and the perfect place to end this itinerary. The channel also has a video dedicated to Granada with details of all the places mentioned. Once you have finished your stay in Granada, you will want to continue your trip. Take advantage of the fact that there is a direct high-speed train operated by Renfe that connects Granada with Madrid, and another one that connects Granada with Barcelona. Shall we take a final look at the itinerary? We started the tour in Cadiz, then continued through Seville and Cordoba. We went down to Malaga and we finished in Granada. Our journey through Andalusia ends here. Your comments and questions on the subject of the video, as always, are very welcome. You will now see on the screen a list of all the videos of the channel dedicated to Andalusia, a very rich source of information to enrich your travels. We look forward to seeing you in these videos.